Hi everyone. Today we're going to talk about mystical experiences. What are mystical experiences? It's experience when you feel like you have tapped into the other realms. They say like in October that the veil between this world and the world of spirit is the thinnest. And a lot of us have vision at this time. You may even feel certain presence. But what I would define as mystical experience is basically when you tap into the inner landscapes, when you feel parts and archetypes inside of you, and the most important of all, when you are in contact with your essence, when you are in contact with your divinity. So, why are mystical experiences important? From the beginning of time, people were seeking answers. Where do we come from? What is the meaning of our lives? How do we connect with one another? And usually they were seeking for that answer in stars. Today we are a little bit wiser and we know that we seek this answer inside of us. There are many different practices that can help you to tap into mystical experience, into your own inner divinity, into your own inner master, and into your wisdom. The way I approach myself is I truly believe that you don't need anything outside of you to have a mystical experience. The only thing that maybe happens is that you feel like you need to go somewhere, like you need to leave your body and go outside of your body to have a beautiful divine experience. But what I would say also is that one of the biggest wounds one can have is the split between matter and spirit. And I personally feel that there is no human that hasn't experienced that for some reason didn't feel maybe even ashamed of being human. That is like the greatest wound one can feel in the body, the big split between heaven and earth, body and the soul. So, how do you get mystical experience without leaving the body? Well, first of all, by coming back into our body. So the way I do it, I use movement. I use my body as a tool to have a mystical experience. And one of the ways that you can do it, and that we often do it, is dance and movement. When we move spontaneously our body, we really dive deep into the landscapes, into the dimensions. There are many dimensions. When we are deeply rooted into our body, we can travel through time. We can really feel so much more than just this momentary experience. We feel archetypes, we feel our past, our present, and our future potentials. We feel sensations, emotions, realms, we have visions, and that is so beautiful and profound. If you want to know more, if you maybe want to join a workshop that I provide, I will leave you a link in the description of this video and I would be happy to see you there. But other than that, mystical experiences are our way to feel the juice of life. Without this kind of spiritual, divine experiences, our life is dull and often meaningless. In order to find a true meaning, we need to feel our heart beating, our heart open. We need to feel the juice, the pleasure. We need to feel connected to our essence. We need to feel connected to the I am that I am, to the very core of our existence. Because the split that we have mentioned leaves us in a space of hopelessness, in a space of desperation, where we question, do I even exist? One of the definitions of healing is to make us whole. Not to fix ourselves, not to change ourselves, but to make us whole, human and divine, to be everything that we are, to be complete. I truly believe that you can have a mystical experience that are embodied. So as I said, a lot of times we feel like we need to leave our body to have the experience of God and divinity. When we bring these experiences on the level of our body, we become aware of our talents, of our authenticity, and of our potentials. And then you can really see, what do you want to offer to this world? What do you also want to experience? How do you want to live, and how do you want to create? And also, like, when we move our body, when we are in this conscious movement, when we are present, when we are spontaneous, we are free. And in this free flow, mystical experiences, they just come. They can be natural. They don't have to be these grand experiences that we need to achieve in order to be enlightened one day. We can really have them every day. At the end of the day, just sitting on a park or having a coffee with your loved one can be a mystical experience. So one of the ways to really be a master in this life is to have these mystical experiences in the simplicity of your everyday. And one of the ways to do that is to be fully in your body and to allow. And yes, I know, if you have been running out of your body for years, for maybe lifetimes, then you will probably feel, the first thing that you probably will feel is frozen. The split is a wound. It is trauma. And yes, when we start feeling our bodies, first we will feel the pain, the horror of this split. But if we allow the energy to flow gently, gently, bite by bite, and if we stay present for that, maybe sometimes, yes, we will need support for someone, but once we learn to hold ourselves in our body and allow our divinity to gently, gently start embodying itself, tapping down, and to understand that with each breath it's safe and it's safer and safer, and that it's okay. And then when we start walking in this inner landscape, it's like a baby first, but then after that we can ride and run and really be there. And it's one day we will realize that, oh my God, I'm not just running, I'm also riding a dragon and a lot of these shadow aspects. And I am free because I am in this inner presence. I am present with everything that I am. And with that presence, everything just comes to me and it's flowing. And that is truly beautiful. I know that it takes a lot of courage to feel these parts of you, to come back into your body when you feel like it's horrifying. And if you're not ready, don't do it. Give yourself time. Be where you are at. I mean, if you really try to force yourself to tap into some of these wounds, it will hurt. So one already needs to have this strong connection with one's essence, with this divinity that holds you. You know, one of the best things that happen when we really open these doors, when we don't feel like we have a closed door, we have a closed window, and we need to crawl our way to these tiny little holes in order to feel ourselves, to feel our soul, to feel our essence, but also maybe, yes, to feel our shadow. When we really open these doors and when everything is available for us, all parts of us, when we really stand in the middle of the circle of our essence, and when we are present in life, in our energy, things just happen and they bring our way. Our flow naturally brings magnificence. That is really, I cannot explain how many times I have experienced real life magic. I remember a couple of years ago, I was walking down the forest. I remember I could feel this presence. I did not know what it was back then, but I closed my eyes and I felt this beautiful, magnificent, big unicorn. And I was like, what's happening? Am I crazy? What is this? This is just so out of everything that I'm currently experiencing. And I remember having this strong feeling of this unicorn saying to me, write my story. And couple of months ago, I finished a story. I finished a beautiful story, a fantasy novel, which came to me, and it was coming to me day by day, day by day. And you know what? I literally cannot take credit for this story because it came from a mystical place inside of me. It came straight from my flow. You know, one day I would be happy to share that story with you, but for now, I just wanted to say what is possible. And then because I was also a little bit self-conscious, because I'm not a writer, I'm a therapist, so what is this? Why am I doing this? Why am I writing now this story? And then I realized, but this is how it is supposed to be. We should not limit ourselves to only one talent. We don't know what we are capable of. We don't know unless we really open all doors of our consciousness and allow our energy to really show us what we want to feel and experience. And to be honest, this story is one of the most profound experiences that I have ever felt, and what I really wish to offer to this world, because at the end of the day, it's the story about me and about my journey. And this unicorn is, of course, a part of me. And the reason how I am is I see archetypes, I see mythical creatures. This is who I am. And I use a lot of movement and embodiment to really bring these parts of me into this world, and not to feel like I'm crazy, like I'm seeing unicorns or something like that, but to really feel, what is this? What can I do with this? How can I bring this into this life? So I would like to really invite you to really feel, what do you want to offer? How do you want to embody experience of your own divinity? Because this is how we really make a difference. This is how we really create the world that we want to live in, not by judging others, not by thinking, oh, they should do this, or thinking we should do this, but really feel and step into these mystical places in us. Yes, sometimes we may even run into dragons, but at the end of the day, each of us have this beautiful unicorn that waits to share the story. I thank you so much for joining me in this video. And please, I don't want this to be just me sharing my story and my insights. I really want to hear your experiences with mystical experiences, or whatever you want to call that. Please share with me. I would really like to know, how do you perceive these experiences of your own divinity, and how do you embody them? And I thank you once again, and I will see you in the next video.